I am a 55-year-old financial planner, and been playing for about 30-40 years now. My whole thing on playing is I wanted to really learn how the instrument works so that I can drive myself to the point of kind of picking the things that I like, the type of things that sound good. Picked up my first guitar probably when I was 18. That was a time where a lot of the big rock shows started kind of evolving, the Van Halens of the year, of the world, the Judas Priest, the Scorpions, you know, that kind of big show rock stuff. And two things occurred to me. I'd played piano previously, and that wasn't as interesting. Probably some of the glamour that went along with it, but I was also intrigued by how well a group of people could get together and play in a live performance, and it sounded really good. And so I knew right away they must be really practicing and disciplining themselves to do that. And so looked around and stumbled into a guy who knew a guy, and I bought a 72 Les Paul from a blues guy that we still hang out with, and that's where I met Steve. He clarified everything, and I say that's a big statement to say in music. And when I say that, I knew the word, what's a key? Or, you know, the statement, what's a key? What key is it in? Well, what's a key? So I remember the day we started, let's just take it from the top. Okay, here's the major scale. Here's the major tonality, and this is where it all begins. So by explaining that, and then explaining the chords, the modes, then learning the scales under each of those modes. And we've since looked at harmonic and melodic minor, and why again, where are those intervals, and how you can use that. That helped me at least fix it in the way that I think, to where I feel like, more than anything, I can work around it and figure it out myself, or at least know the right questions to ask. How do we know, you know, what and when to play? And the thing that confused me also, as I grew through the whole thing, was there's so many different ways on the guitar neck to play the same chord, and how do you ever figure that out? So that became my really asking a lot of questions versus practicing and learning to play. Actually moving your hands and feeling comfortable doing that. Because I just didn't understand where we're at to begin with, versus just memorizing. And memorizing can work, and sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. I sometimes lend over to the side of, okay, what am I trying to do? And I know that this chord should go here, and if I don't, I stop and think it through and find out. The latest song that I really like is this. This is a song by the guitar player for Triumph, and I'm just going to play one part of it. I'll just play the chord progression because this is the type of sound I like, which is... So that's kind of the vein that I like to play within. It's different chords still within the key, and what Steve helped me do is I think fix it in my head that you're kind of hearing that. So this 13th chord, for example, that type of movement helped me see the key, the scale, and everything else that kind of fits in on that. Playing something that I can be more melodic keeps me interested, and I'm not afraid to just, well, I wonder what this sounds like, or what does that sound like? And so for me, it's a freedom in that I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and then I could still dial that back in if I could find some people to play. If music was a real easy thing, everybody would be great right away. If you look at the best players, if you look at anybody who spends the time on it, I wish I had the time. What can make it better, and the reason I love and still want to continue doing these, and I don't even refer to them as lessons, as I'm going to get together and jam. I made up this song, what do you think? I'm thinking this, no, you think that. If you don't have that theory background to know a kind of a basic roadmap, I think you'll get bored, which I did. And I quit playing for a little while, and part of it was I just said, well, maybe it's not that important. Then I realized there are so many avenues I hadn't looked at. When I started reading back on my theory and all this, well, I need to, there's a lot of things I could be doing with that. So that particular approach to theory and understanding the scales, the chords, the intervals within those is what really makes the difference when you're going to go about trying to learn to play the guitar.